For the first time since 2007, the UMass Lowell Baseball Riverhawks in the NCAA tournament starts with the East Regional Game 1, Thursday, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and a familiar opponent as UMass Lowell takes on Franklin Pierce. First off, just in theory, how important is winning the first game and starting thus your tour through the postseason in the winner's bracket?
I mean, it's always important for your psyche to get that first win, and you keep yourself in that winner's bracket, which keeps your pitching staff fresh. But with this staff, if we were to by chance lose that first game, we still have a ton of pitching to get us through the loser's bracket and back in. But our plan is to not lose that first game. I mean, it's going to be one of those epic games against Franklin Pierce.
It's the NCAA tournament, but it is Franklin Pierce's home field, familiar surroundings. It's also a turf field. First, simply though, is there a home field advantage for Franklin Pierce?
I don't think so. Yeah, they're in their familiar place where they play, obviously all their home games. So, but I don't think that there's an advantage in terms of the game of baseball. It comes down to execution, and it might be an advantage for some of these visiting teams because they get to stay in the hotel. Although I don't know if Pierce is still in school or not. I don't believe so, but. The only advantage they might have is they play on turf every single day, but we've played on turf fields 5 or 6 times this year, and it really hasn't affected the way we play the game.
Is a turf game any different than baseball? And as Ernie Banks used to say, I didn't want to play on it if a horse couldn't chew on it. Is it any different, natural, as opposed to turf?
The way the turf is now, I don't think it's that much of a difference. It's more realistic to grass. I think the old turf of the 70s in Three Rivers Stadium, when the ball shot through that infield pretty quick, was different. But yeah, it is still a little bit quicker, but the Lasher Park's pretty quick infield as well. So I don't see it being that much of a difference.
Talk about the Riverhawks pitching depth. We saw it exhibited certainly in Game 1 of the Northeast 10 tournament as this team went 15 innings of shutout pitching en route to a 1-0 victory. And the team pitched well in the rest of the tournament as well. What the team hasn't done as effectively of late has been hitting with runners on base or just hitting scuffled a little bit with the bats. Is it reason for concern, or is it, hey, we face some real tough pitching?
I think it's a little, we're not concerned. Every team goes through its ebbs and flows on offense, and I think if somebody gets that big hit, it'll kind of carry on down through the lineup. And what was good to see against Southern Connecticut there at the end in the 8th inning, Cam Neal, who had been scuffling a little bit for the first time all year, really fought his way on base and got a big hit that scored the first run. He got another hit his next time up. He swung the bat well the next game against Franklin Pierce. So that was good to see and encouraging. But you got to tip your cap to the pitching in this conference. As we spoke about earlier, voting for all conference pitching was as tough a thing as we've had to do here in a long time because there's so many good pitchers, and to win a tournament like this, you got to be good pitching, and we've faced good pitching all year long. We've beaten some really good pitchers, and we've gotten beat by some, and I think it really comes down to getting that big key hit when you have that opportunity, because with pitchers like this kid Thompson that we're going to face, you don't have many opportunities, and when you do, you got to get that base hit.
Should play a little bit of small ball in that pitching can be so dominant?
No doubt. We'll bunt. We will bunt early and often to get that first run. Usually against what we normally do. The only person that probably won't bunt early would be Cam. But everybody else is going to have to get their bunts down.
You mentioned Cam Neal, and I've got the feeling as I've looked at this lineup, despite the fact that it has scuffled a bit, you have a lot of confidence in this team's ability with the bat.
Oh, no doubt about it. We've put together good at-bats all year long. When we play another team, we face their best pitcher. And we've really put together a lineup that I think 1 through 9, anybody could be the hero that day, and I think we've proven that all year long.
Unsung hero on this team, and I think back to the 15-inning ball game, and Connor Burnham ends up with the big hit, and I suppose maybe to some it's a surprise, but the guy has been hitting 300. Is there, in your mind, any unsung hero in this lineup?
Rob Noe. Rob Noe is, if you look at him, he's second in our team in RBIs, but what he's done behind the plate with his pitching staff, to put it this way, we were calling pitches pretty much 90% of the pitches all the way up until the Adelphi series, and since that point, we've let him kind of take over the reins, and he's done a really good job calling pitches, setting hitters up, and then just taking the beating that catches take back there. And to me, he's the guy that has really stepped up to the plate and played through some more pain than I think people realize.
All right, and I guess finally, game one starter is left-hander Jack Leathersich. He's been terrific. He's capable of phenomenal things. As a manager, you put him out on the mound. What are you expecting? What do you want? What must this team have from him?
He's going to go out there and throw strikes. He's been throwing strikes all year long. His strikeout to walk ratio is off the charts. He's going to go out there and I think hopefully dominate with his fastball. And for him to be successful, he's got to have all three pitches working. But if his fastball is working and is locating the way he has been over the last month, he's going to be awful tough to beat. And you're not going to find a better competitor in this conference than Jack Leathersich. The good thing is he's won up there before, so he's comfortable up there. Pitched a great game up there earlier in the year, and they got the better end of him, so we got a little bit of the revenge factor going.
All right. 18 times to the NCAA tournament. We congratulate you on number 18. Let's make it a long run, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That is UMass Lowell Baseball head coach. That is Ken Harring. Thank you for watching.